Yeah,
What's up, people of Earth? It is time for the Vaughn Joseph Show.
all the ugly people be quiet.
Bringing you stories you won't remember next week. Stories, you guys. We're bringing you stories, not news. It's not news. I was going to do this show last night when I heard about what I want to talk about today, but let's bring the octaves down in the vocals, save my throat. I've got stuff to do this week. But I decided, hey, it's Monday. So let's just get right into this juice, you guys. I got some juice. Not really, but we're diving into the world of Canadian podcast regulations, among other things, where the Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Commission, also known as the CRTC, is making moves to modernize the broadcasting framework and ensure online streaming services contribute to Canadian and Indigenous content. What does all of that mean, you may ask? I asked myself that very same question last night. Now, my fellow podcast enthusiasts, let's break down what that means for our beloved medium of ours. With these two turntables and a microphone, online streaming services that offer broadcasting content in Canada and earn a whopping $10 million, that's not me, or more in annual revenues, are the lucky ones who get to fill out something called a registration form of some sort. And can you imagine the excitement of those executives as they scramble to complete paperwork instead of brainstorming their next true crime podcast? But fear not, my mellow fellows. Fear not, my fellow podcasters and social media enthusiasts, for there is a silver lining. While online services offering podcasts must register, individuals who use social media to share podcasts can breathe a sigh of relief. So go ahead, my friends. Continue to share those hilarious comedy podcasts, or not so funny ones like this one, on social media. Because you don't have the hassle of filling out these forms, do you? No, you don't. Let's keep the podcast sharing spirit alive and well. So anyway, under the new measures being promoted by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his cabinet, authorities will also be able to track those who subscribe to podcasts. They want to track you guys. So if you listen to a podcast, they want to know that you're listening to it. Because they want to know why. I'm going off script already. I have such passion for today's podcast. I'm really sorry it's going to be a bit messy. The plan is the latest tactic seeking to eliminate wrongthink from the nation's tax-paying population. In the summer, Canada's Bill C-18, the Online News Act, this is not news. Just let's make that clear again. These are stories and things. Maybe we should change the podcast to call Stuff and Things. What are you talking about? Stuff and things? Not news. So this Online News Act became law and placed restrictions on news in the country. Bill C-18 limits online news to corporate media outlets by placing a price on links to content like this, a so-called link tax, to reduce the reach of independent sources. There is now no freedom of speech for ordinary Canadians and access to news. Meanwhile, Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, have also initiated the process of ending news availability in Canada. This is not news. It's not news, guys. I'm going to have to keep reiterating this throughout the show. We might even have to change the name. We have to change the name. There's no might about it. There's no Mighty Mouse here. Canadian news outlets and publishers will no longer be able to share their news links and content with the Canadian audience. Do you have any idea what that means? I sit back now, and again, I'm going off my notes here, and I think back to those truckers that were protesting what was going on during the pandemic, and then having their bank accounts frozen by the government. Does that seem right to anybody? Now, whatever, okay? I don't know the ins and outs. They want to say they were racist, they were this, that, and the third. I don't know the people. I don't know the specifics. I know why they say they were there, and I know what I was shown by people that were there. I have family from Canada, and they're just like, screw those guys. But why? Are you not allowed to have an opinion other than that? Why is the world so black and white? Everything is so polarized now. You're either on that team or you're on that team. There's no in between. I got a PC on the floor, a Mac there, here, and another one there. I'm recording on my iPhone, and I got a Android right here. So not only did they have their bank accounts frozen, people that donated to them had their bank accounts frozen. Now, why is this a problem? I'll tell you why it's a problem to me. I hope I'm not sounding angry. I don't want to be angry. I'm concerned. Concerned. I'm not angry, but I am certainly concerned about what's going on. So you can't donate to something you believe in now. And those people had their bank accounts frozen too. Maybe not all of them, but I know that there were some that did, right? This is not a news outlet. This is just an opinion piece. That's all it is. I went to Ukraine. It's not the Ukraine. It's not the France or the Germany. It's Germany, just like Ukraine. So let's just make that quick edit in real time. I went there to do a commercial, right? This was a year before all this stuff started kicking off. I met this young lady. She was my scene partner in this commercial we did. I kept in touch because she was nice. And then after all of this stuff jumped off, she went to Canada because that's what happens. A lot of people from Ukraine they had to move. And she told me her brother had to stay behind and fight as per usual. That's what we understood was taking place. So what did that mean? She's like, well, we're trying to raise money to get drones so that we can help their unit. I don't know what the proper terms are. So if I gave her money to give to her brother or her brother's military outfit, does that now make me a supporter or somebody that should be banned or have my accounts frozen? If, let's say, for example, the government or the mainstream, the people that were in control of all of these things were saying that Russia were the good guys, let's flip it. Maybe what if I went to Russia and I met this young lady and we got on, and then, this thing happens. She's in Ukraine and she's like, we need money. Can you help? And I do that because that's the kind of guy I am. But America is like, no, Ukraine is who we're supporting. You gave money to them, we're shutting you down. That's not right, in my opinion. So the same thing is going to apply to international news outlet. This is not new. Have I said already that this isn't news? It's stuff in things. International news outlets, while they will continue to post their news links and content, the content will not, I repeat, will not be visible to people in Canada. So that means that my sister can no longer watch my podcast. Does that make any sense? The changes mean that people in Canada will no longer be able to view or share news content on Facebook and or Instagram. This sounds like another country that we know that starts with a C and ends with an A. I'm just saying. The availability of Meta's services will remain unchanged for users outside of Canada for now. Let's not act like things don't start somewhere and then just bleed out through culture. Because we know they do. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the quirks of these regulations. Apparently, if you're an online service providing video game services or audiobooks, you're off the hook. So like Amazon Books or was it Kindle or whatever. No registration required for you. It's like a game of regulatory dodgeball where podcasters are caught in the middle, wondering if they'll be hit with the registration ball or dodge it like a ninja. I need a sword. They don't do... Anyway. Bill C-18 limits online news to corporate media outlets by placing a price on links to content, like we said. This link tax. But fret not, my friends, because even though regulations can sometimes be a bit confusing, they're meant to ensure a vibrant and diverse Canadian content landscape, so long as the information you're watching is controlled by the government. That sounds like that country that starts with a C and ends with an A again. And hey, who knows, maybe this will lead to a surge in uniquely Canadian podcasts, where hosts apologize profusely for every minor mistake and sprinkle their conversations with maple syrup references. Oh, the possibilities. So, my fellow podcast enthusiasts, I hope the music hasn't been super duper loud this whole show. Let's embrace the changing landscape of Canadian podcasts. The regulations. With a sense of humor and a spirit of creativity. We have to. Let's continue to share our favorite podcasts, engage in lively discussions, and support the vibrant, you guys, it's vibrant. Let's support the vibrant podcasting community. While we still can. Sorry, sometimes I just have to play with the toys. Change is coming, so we need to get ready for it. The world is always changing, right? And the world we lived in 100 years ago has changed countless times since then. Those people would come here now and think, yeah, let's stay here. And most of us would likely prefer not to live in the 1920s. I mean, I know I wouldn't. What was going on in the 1920s? Do a little history research on that one. That'll answer that quick as to why I wouldn't. So this morning I was watching a news show online that had 58.9 million views. 58.9 million views. It's one show. There are that many people. There's that many people watching. There's not that many people watching all news combined, like CNN, MSN, whatever you watch. They're not watching. There's not that many people watching that, but this one show had almost 60 million views. That's more people that live in England, where I am now. There's not even that. It's like the entire country watched this show. So this means, hey, They aren't listening to what we think. You're right, we're not. Or they aren't. We need to fix this. Maybe because you use obvious tactics to smear people that have opinions other than yours. Would anyone like some horse dewormer? We are coming up on the season. They want to completely curate and control what information you're given. Pictures, but not all change is bad. Not all change is bad. But I think we are at least headed towards the bad first. When these social media platforms first came out, they were fun. I'm not sure what shoes to wear today. First world problems. That's what we were posting. Posting videos of cats. People jumping off roofs and landing on picnic tables and stuff like that. Then people started using it to say things that were on their minds, and those people had millions of people watching their videos. People in charge were like, So many of you claim to be woke, but if we are all really woke, it's time to wake up. We could possibly avoid some of the things we know are coming, right? Digital IDs are technically already here. Cash, gone. CBDC, central bank digital currencies, is a foregone conclusion. When are we going to wake up and stop falling for the same trick? We hear about things like today's story in China, Canada. Then powers that be say you're a conspiracy theorist to dismiss you, and then they do it anyway. They just do it anyway. Stop it. Stop trying to minimize what people over here think. Sorry, it's wrong think, so you can't be that. You have to be re-educated. Send him to school. He's a psychologist at a university, but how he thinks is wrong. You can't think. Wasn't that one of the things in 1984? I saw somewhere where it said if you read that book, 1984, you are now considered an enemy of the state, a potential threat, a terrorist or something crazy like that. The movie talked about wrong think. You can't have wrong think. You have to think a certain way, and if you don't fall in line or follow the rules of thought, the thought police come get you. It doesn't matter hugely to us because this isn't news. It's not news. It's just stuff and things. So don't come after us. We're just here to have some fun and talk about, what are we going to talk about? Let's make sure that we end this on a happy note for you guys. It has to be a happy note for you guys. Otherwise, we get kicked off the internet. Over here in England, they've got, what's it called? The online safety bill. Because they want to make sure that children aren't exposed to pornography. Of course. Children aren't exposed to extreme violence on the internet. Of course. You don't not like puppies, do you? So as a result, we're shutting it down for everybody. So that's where we are. Woman mortified after serious wardrobe malfunction on plane that everyone saw. This is already stuff. I don't even know if we can get away with this anymore because I remember when the Pandeezy was taking place and people were reporting stuff from like the New York Times or the Washington Post and these social media platforms or these, I don't know what we call them anymore, like YouTube and whatnot, were taking these, saying they were misinformation and taking this stuff down. These are direct quotes from like the CDC website. These are things that are coming from there, but when it's told in a different way and it's shown that it's not accurate, that's when they start losing their cool. Neighbors found out about my adult work before I moved in, thanks to my estate agent. This is the reason why you suddenly need to pee when you get home. See, this is the kind of stuff that we usually talk about, but I can't do it anymore because it's news, right? You're not allowed to have fun on the internet anymore. Loch Ness Monster's long neck and short head is spotted by rational and scientific nurse. Woman bullied for working at McDonald's get last laugh with brilliant response. How come we can't share this with you guys, Canada? Yeah, you guys think it's okay. Anyway, if you're looking for some more hilarious and quirky non-news to brighten up your day, don't forget to check out... We can't even use V3 TV News anymore. I'm going to have to move that now, because that's the Instagram channel, so you can't even use that. You have to change that. That's all right. People made fun of me when they said, why do you got so many Instagram accounts for cases just like this one? You can go over to V3 TV Meta. How about that? Or you can go to V3 TV UK. But I don't want to get that whole channel banned, so I'm not going to post these shows on there. They'll be on V3 TV Meta on Instagram. Only the promo will be on V3 TV UK. So if you want a dose of offbeat entertainment, that's where you need to go. And that's it for today, folks. I can't say no more about this. I mean, when Canada is the interesting stuff in the news, we know we got a problem. Canada? Wow. So until next time, oh my goodness, now more than ever, it is so important that you stay human. Please. I'm out.